Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Between the Scenes with Marty and Mack, brought to you by the Triple Play Fantasy Network. As always, Mack and I will be bringing you the best hitters and pitchers to stream for the upcoming week, which is now week 20, and we're going to be covering August 23rd through August 29th. Mack, how you doing this beautiful Saturday morning?
Pretty darn good. It's early over here. It's rainy. It's got a nice ambiance here in
Nice.
Nashville, Tennessee. So feeling nice. How about you?
Good. It's beautiful over here in Detroit. Beautiful sun. It's one of those days where it may get a little too humid, So we'll hopefully it doesn't do that to us. But as of right now, this morning, 9 a.m, it's beautiful.
That's every day here, so I feel you.
Yep, there you go. Well, it's already week 20 for us, which is actually pretty incredible. We were just talking off air about how this has kind of just flown by. Week 19, let's review our players, Mac. I think it was pretty brutal for both of us. I'm not going to speak for you. I'll speak for myself. But I'll let you start. Mac, let's go over your hitters. How'd you do?
So I was a solid 1 for 3. My favorite pick of the week did well. The other two did not. Let's start with Anthony Santander. And this basically sums up Santander's season anyway. I mean, since August 1st, or let me remind you, he was hitting 390 as of last week with a
390. That's very good.
With a 732 slugging percentage. I think he had a 2 home run day, and he was sprinkling homers everywhere. And this week, he's gone 0 for 13, a fat 0 for. So I am very sorry, but I don't even know. Baseball's weird. How can you predict that? Can't.
And how many have the Orioles lost in a row?
We were just talking about the 16 in a row, hoping it'll be 17 or 8. Well, I'm hoping it'll be 18 because they're going against my Braves. But I also have Drew Smiley picked as a streamer for this week 19 against the Orioles.
Should be money in the bank. If Smiley can't do it this week, he's on our never again list.
Then he can't do it.
Yep, he's on the never again.
The Orioles have lost 16 in a row by more than 2 runs. Not a single one-run game in that streak, which is, I think, the first time that's happened since 1900. I also was looking, and they're one of the only teams, maybe the only team, I can't remember this stat exactly, who has strung together losing streaks of 14-plus in the same season before.
Wow. Are they on pace to have the least amount of wins ever?
I don't know.
I think the Tigers tied that in 2002. I don't know what it is.
38 wins so far.
Jeez,
I think they're 38 and 83 or something like that.
So let's just try to stay away from Orioles hitters, and pitchers for the time being.
Aside from Cedric Mullins, I mean, I was talking with a coworker. Imagine where they'd be without Mullins. He's got like a 5 WAR. I guess they'd be at 33 wins if the calculation's correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Santander, not good. Over 13, I have it here in exclamation points because I was really, really annoyed at him. I've had him and dropped him multiple times throughout the season. And if you're smart, you'd probably just drop him.
Yeah, I'm done with him for now. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, but Aledmus Diaz, let's talk about Mr. Diaz. He went 5 for 16. He had a home run. He scored a couple runs. He had 4 RBIs. It's a 313 average. He's still starting every day for the Astros, and he's looked really good for the last month or so. Diaz could actually provide pretty decent value for the rest of the season. I mean, as of last week, I was talking about it. Overall, he's batting .302, and he's only raised that since.
Yeah, batting over up to 304 now.
Yeah, batting over 300. His on-base percentage is high. His slugging percentage is respectable. If you need some average help, I think he's the guy. And a lot of people are going to need average help in average leagues because, let's face it, not many major league hitters hit for high average anymore, aside from the elite ones.
Yep.
And Mr. Jared Kelenic, who I still think is a valuable player, but he went 0 for 7, and this is a rough week because he went 0 for 7 and was caught stealing twice. So even when he got on base, he was caught stealing, which is rough. He had been fairly productive up until this week. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. Seattle even they swept the Rangers, had a pretty hefty 9-8 win, and Kelnick just did not get in on the party.
Wow. I
Yeah.
know.
So,
It'll come. Just we don't know when.
yeah, and honestly, I don't know. An interesting thing. I don't know if he's playing through injury. I don't know if what the issue is here, or if the speed's just never going to happen. Because his first, I don't know if anyone's been keeping up, but his home plate to first base sprint speed is like not just not fast. It's like well below average.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's been really weird to see, and he's been caught stealing multiple times. So it's weird because he's like this guy who's known to he's supposed to be speedy, like he's supposed to be fast, but and the Mariners seem to believe he's fast because they've been letting him run, but then all the StatCast data says he's just not fast. So
yeah, and I'm bringing it up. You may already have it in front of you, but his sprint. What's his sprint speed?
I actually don't have it in front of me.
Okay. All right, baseball savant. What do you got here for me? Come on, act like you've been there before. But no, overall, I mean, anytime you have that combination of power and speed, ostensibly speed, we don't really know. Okay, so 45th percentile. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Maybe the speed's not there. It's not even because you're talking about out of the batter's box. That's not instinct. That's literally just, being fast. Yeah. It's just like getting fast twitch muscles. So it's not like he's getting caught out of. Okay, I guess we'll see how that goes.
I guess we'll see. That's been something I didn't have it brought to my attention until recently. I don't know, scrolling through the old Twitter feed.
Where you learn so much, and then you almost sometimes you die inside, but that's okay. You keep scrolling. So overall, pretty. You had a one shining gem,
one gem, and two horrible duds. So
we're not that off. We're oddly similar this week, Max. Taking a look at my Week 19 hitters. So we'll start off with Luis Brinson. Let's get the bad out of the way. So we've said this before. Listeners, you've heard me say many times, sometimes you're riding a wave and it crashes. And this was the week that it crashed for Luis Brinson. So 1 for 16 overall. Just pretty brutal. I don't really have much more to say about that. They are who we thought they were. I don't know. But yeah, not a good. It's a bummer for him because I loved seeing him. He was bouncing back, getting some homers, but pretty brutal week out of the gate for him. So keep an eye on him. I'm holding him in like a 15-team league, but 10, 12 teams, just probably just let the hot hand go. Number 2 was Tyler Wade, Yankees. So he didn't play that much at all. Looking at his game logs, they switched over, and I already forgot the young guy's name, but he actually is from the Bronx. And
Andrew Velasquez.
Yes, that guy. Yeah, man. I found myself watching a few Yankees games this week, mostly because I have Stanton in a lot of leagues. But yeah. So he took the shine, and it looks like he played a little bit more, which is actually a really cool story for Yankees fans and everyone who dived into that. But Tyler Wade this week, 3 for 7. He had 2 runs, but he didn't get any steals, and that's what I was hoping he'd get.
Yeah, I picked him up for steals.
Yep,
it didn't happen.
Now the other guy got him. So what are you gonna do? But just like you had one diamond in the rough, as did I. Connor Joe, our cover athlete, 5 for 18. Connor Joe from the Rockies, first base outfielder. 5 for 18. He had the 1 home run on Monday night, which I was so pumped about that. He has 3 RBIs, and he's slashing 333, 444, 600 on the week. And he has 2 more games in the beautiful confines of Coors Field. So anything could happen. He could add on to that tally. But we'll take it. 5 for 18.
Diaz and Joe homered like within 30 minutes, and those people are looking nice for a second there.
I know it looked like it was going to be a stellar week, but
Oh well.
Yeah, and as we say this, if you're getting this deep, where we're talking about 12% rostership and stuff, dud weeks are going to happen, man. So, but hey, let's move on to our pitchers. How do we do there, Week 19?
Good, and I'm hoping that Drew Smyly rounds it out nicely. But if you listen to either of these, we'll talk about one that was really surprising. But Flexen was less surprising to me. He went against Texas. Chris Flexen, He had 7 innings pitched. He gave up 2 runs. One of those runs was earned. 4 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Got a quality start. The horrible Mariners bullpen, which it's only been horrible as of late. But Diego Castillo gave up a 3-run bomb that tied the game in the 9th. So he lost the win on that. But they were up 7-2 when he left the game.
Jeez.
It was a pretty brutal way to lose a win. I have him on a couple teams, and I was watching. It was like watching I just watched the whole game, watched it be ripped away, and I was like, oh, he's gonna lose this win. Oh no, he's gonna lose this win. And then Castillo gave up the 3-run bomb. It was rough. To like a catcher who is like a sub. It was like his first home run of the season. It was.
That's how it goes. And actually, I'm in a head-to-head league, and my opponent picked up Chris Flexen 15 minutes before he started. And I was like, I see you. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. I only have one more ad, so I couldn't do it. And I'm waiting to see what I'll need that ad for Sunday. I always keep one ad. You get 5 ads like throughout the week. You got to keep one for Sunday just to see. But yeah.
Yeah. And then the second guy I had go was Reed Detmers, and I expected him to go against the Cleveland Indians, the Cleveland baseball team. He was 8% rostered at the time, but instead he went against the Houston Astros, which would have been a scary matchup, and I didn't actually pick him up anywhere. Maybe I should have, but I don't have a lot of room on teams at this point with playoff pushers.
I mean, that would have been very
it was
taken a huge
super
risk.
shot. I mean, I might have if he was going against Cleveland, but he got the Astros, and I didn't pick him up. But he went 6 innings. He gave up 1 run, 3 hits, 2 walks, had 6 strikeouts, got the win and the quality start. So what can you say? I mean, Detmers has high potential, and we talked about that on the show last week. If he's able to get the breakers working, go deep into a game. So that's what happened. And the Astros have actually they're one of those feast or famine teams, and sometimes they're really bad. And that was one of those nights. So
super encouraging from the rookie. Really excited to see that just from a baseball perspective. 7 whiffs, during that game. It was great.
Yeah. And then Drew Smiley just hasn't pitched yet. I think he's projected to pitch today. And if it's not today, then it's tomorrow. But yeah, he'll get Baltimore.
Mr. Drew. Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, well, let's take a look at my Week 19 pitchers. So starting with J.A. Happ versus the Pirates. So he pitches today. So we do not know. Stay tuned. Still feel good about that one. Second one was Touki Toussaint at Miami. So he goes against Baltimore tomorrow, but he played Miami on Tuesday, I think it was, and he did well. He went 6 1/3. He struck out 7. He got the victory. They gave him a lot of run support. They won 12-2. So I think for a pitcher who struggles with confidence, anytime you see that 8, 9, 10 runs on the board, you feel pretty good about that. So he got you the quality start, and I'm feeling good against his Baltimore game he's got on Sunday because Baltimore is, as we already talked about, dreadful. Number 3 was Jake Odorizzi. And he did what he always does. He burned me. He got the no decision against the Royals. He allowed 4 earned runs in just 5 1/3, 8 hits, 2 walks, and he only got me 2 strikeouts. So I don't know why I do it. I keep going back to the well. I look at it on paper. I love that he's on the Astros. It clouds my judgment, and damn it, the Royals dropped 4 on him. But he's going against Seattle tomorrow, so he's giving me the opportunity to maybe turn it around, but I never feel good about it. That was the KC start was the start I was actually excited about. The Mariners one, I was like, I don't know about that one, so we'll see. He'll probably throw a gem. Who knows?
Yeah.
But hey, I'll take the Touki Toussaint, and we'll see on J.A. Happ. All right, now it is time to hop into Week 20 for us. Week 20 is August 23rd through the 29th. As always, we start with hitting. I'm super excited for this week. Just more and more teams aren't paying attention, and all of these people are actually on your waiver wire. So take advantage of that. Mac, Week 20 hitters. Who do you got?
So I got 3 guys. One's a real deep league, like 20-team streamer. One's more of a 15-team streamer, and then the other is probably your standard 12-team streamer. Cool. We'll start with the 12-team streamer. I'm a little bit actually behind the 8 ball here. I mean, if you really want to be like that's the thing with streamers is you try to predict. And if I was prophetic, I guess I would have recommended him last week. But Josh Rojas is 50% rostered, but he's jumped like 20% over the last few days because he's been really good for the last week. Actually, the last 2 weeks. Over the last 2 weeks, he's batting nearly 500, and he's got second base, shortstop, outfield eligibility. He's contributed in a lot of ways. He had a hitting streak going for a little while there, like a 6 or 7 game hitting streak. It ended, I think, a night or two ago. But high average play. He's slashed. I mean, on the season, he has slashed lines 288, 371, 466. So it's not like this is coming out of nowhere. It's just people aren't really paying attention. It's a really respectable line, and he's got a little bit of speed. He'll get you some counting stats in not a great Diamondbacks lineup, but the Diamondbacks have actually been pretty good for the last, little bit. They swept the Phillies. That lineup's come alive for the last week or so. So
that no-hitter was insane. I already forgot it.
The
Tyler Gilbert.
Keep him on your radar. I think he goes against Pitt this week. I don't have him. I don't have him as one of my streamers, but
no, and I'm always wary to throw somebody after a no-hitter. It doesn't even matter that it was his first. I mean, the whole thing's just like a Cinderella story. It's insane. His dad's freaking out. He's emotional. So
I know.
cool.
It literally had me like. I was like driving on Sunday morning, and like my wife was driving, and I was watching it, and I got a little misty, and she was like,
yeah. She's like, "Is everything okay?" Like it was a beautiful game.
All I could think about was like how many years like my dad and I just like played catch in the backyard and stuff like that, and it's like, man,
Same.
and like how hard he probably pushed to get there. I mean, it's crazy.
All of it, and it just falls in line. I like when you just see him looking up at the scoreboard as he's walking off the field. He's just like in awe of himself, as anyone would, and then
it definitely feels like 10 years from now it could be like a movie starring well, 20 years ago it's a movie starring Dennis Quaid. I don't know who's in it now.
I don't know. He may still do it, dude. They got that CGI stuff, but that was some that was really cool, and you'd love to see that kind of stuff.
So anyways, that's my 12-teamer stream. He's got 7 games. He gets the Pirates and Phillies again. Pirates obviously just aren't a good pitching staff, and the Phillies have faltered as of late. So I like the 7 games. I like that he's been hitting well. I like the multiple.
There's only 5 teams. There's only 5 teams.
I've been struggling
with 7 games.
I couldn't find any guys with a lot of games.
So it's weird. It's a lighter week, which is kind of weird.
Light week. Anyways, let's jump to the more of the 15 team streamer, and I believe that's JP Crawford. I have him in a 20-teamer, and he is a very serviceable shortstop in a 20-teamer. In a 15-teamer, I think he's a good stream. He's 13% rostered. He's hit well in August. He's got a hit in almost every game in August, and he's batting 270. He gets 6 games against the A's and the Royals. And I don't know what it is. I just like rooting for JP. He's such a fun guy if you watch him play. I mean, a lot of people don't watch the Mariners, but like the other day,
it's hard out there. It's so late,
it is. The other day there was this GIF where like he got on first. I don't know if it's GIF. I know it's supposed to be GIF actually, but I just don't say that.
It's hard to say it.
It is hard to say.
Doesn't feel right. Yeah.
And like there's this GIF where he's like. He looks over at the Mariners dugout, and I don't know what it means or what this thing is, but he goes like,
it's just
so
fun.
Weird. Yeah, he's just a fun guy. His helmet flies off while he's running. He plays hard. I don't know. I like it. And he's been hitting well. I mean, on the season, his average is 270. He's got a home run in the last week or so. And the A's and Royals are not great staffs. The A's have a decent staff. The Royals do not have a great staff. And even the A's have faltered recently with Bassett gone, and Manea's thrown up about 4 stinkers in a row now. So Cole Irvin's
since
been
the All-Star break, Kansas City's team ERA, they're the 5th worst in baseball. So pretty brutal there. Oakland, where are you at, Oakland? They're 20. They have the 7th best.
Wow,
So
that's surprising.
Yeah,
but
I mean it's at 3.67. They're sandwiched between Tampa and Houston.
That's the Oakland way, though. They always end up scraping by somehow.
I know.
Anyway,
Losing Bassett's brutal.
It is really, really, that was horrible.
Yeah, it was.
But best case scenario coming out of it. So at least
true.
And then finally we got Bradley Zimmer. Bradley Zimmer is your deep league stream. If you're in a 20-teamer and you need some outfield help, I think we both have one of these guys. One of these deep league guys in our picks.
But for all the people who need the really, really deep ones.
Yeah, the real deep ones. So Zimmer's he's 3% owned over his last 12 games. Zimmer, he's actually kind of fighting for his life on the depth chart, and he's playing like it because Oscar Mercado got called up. And I think it put a fire under him a little bit because he wanted to start. So he's got 3 home runs and 3 stolen bases over his last 12 games. He's got a 370 OBP over the last 2 weeks. So he's getting on base. He's been stealing. He's been hitting home runs. He gets 6 games against largely meh pitching staffs, the Rangers and the Red Sox. So, I mean, again, we've got a bunch of guys who aren't on very good teams here, but you can pull a lot of value from forgotten guys on bad teams. And I don't know. This is obviously the low floor play. I mean, there's a reason why Zimmer's 3% rostered. He could go for 0 for 13 like Santander, but Santander's supposed to be the high ceiling play, so you really don't know when you're playing these odds.
You don't. But you got to love going against Texas. I mean, that is a horrible pitching staff.
Horrible pitching staff.
So,
And, I like that he's got the power speed combo working recently. I like that they're letting him run. And I like that Mercado's giving him a little pressure breathing down his neck on the depth chart. So.
Batting 5th in a lineup, I mean, day in, day out, you'll take it.
Yep. So that's the guys: Josh Rojas, JP Crawford, and Bradley Zimmer.
Beautiful. All right. Well, I have the same kind of style as yours, a couple 15-teamers and then a deep one. So we'll start with what I would say is an obvious pickup, and I think most people should have him. But then I look, Colton Wong, 30% rostered. I just don't understand. I don't understand why he's like.
Yeah, we've done this with Wong. We did it with Grossman for a while. I mean, people have started to listen on Grossman. He had a stolen base yesterday. I mean, he's
rostered. Grossman earlier. I can't boost it up, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have a 2020 season. Like, it's crazy that he's so under rostered. But this is probably like the 4th time, 5th time we've mentioned Wong on the show. So 30% rostered so far. He's slashing 283, 343, 450 with 47 runs scored, 9 home runs, 31 RBIs, and 9 stolen bases. So over the last day, he has a homer, he has a steal, he's driven 4 home, and the Brewers play 3 games at home against the Reds. The Reds are a meh pitching staff, 13th in team ERA since the All-Star break, and then 3 away versus the Twins. The Twins have the 4th worst team ERA since the All-Star break, and losing Brios obviously is going to add to that. So, guys, pick up Colton Wong, second base eligible. He can get you a home run. He's going to get you a steal. He's going to bat around 300. I mean, what else more could you need? Yeah, and he was injured, so he's only played a little more than half a season. So he's
344 plate appearances.
Yeah, roughly 600 for 550 for a season. So he's on pace for what would be full season 15-15 with a lot of counting stats, and that's valuable from a second baseman.
Exactly. So I like him for the upcoming week and for the rest of season. I'm going to skip over my deep one. I'm going to hop over to Christian Walker, first baseman, Arizona, 20% rostered. You know him. He hits home runs. He can sometimes hit for a pretty decent average. But this year overall, he's been pretty brutal. And there's been times where I think he's almost lost, his actual job, at first base for such a bad Diamondbacks team. But over the last week or so, it looks like he's starting to get it back. He's 5 for his last 13, and he has a really favorable schedule coming up. So the Diamondbacks are one of the teams that have 7 games. So he has 3 against the Pirates, third worst team ERA since the All-Star break, and 4 games against the Phillies, 14th team in ERA since the All-Star break. So going against, he has a full slate. He's still batting. I think they're letting him. Yeah, he's still playing every single day. I think he'll be able to get you a couple home runs. That's what I'm feeling the most from him. He's going to be batting probably 4th in that lineup, and he's going to be now. The only thing, and this is, I don't know how true this is, but I think there is a little bit of the truth to it. There's like a hangover, effect for coming home from Coors. So he's going to be playing at Coors for the next 3 games. I don't know if that will affect him because they're going to be going all the way over to Pittsburgh. So if you believe in that, maybe stay away. But I like him for this upcoming week, and I think he can provide some high-end value and home runs over the next month or so. And then number 2 is my deep boy. So Aristides Aquino. So Reds outfielder, 1% rostered. He hits home runs, and that's basically about it. But hey, those home runs are valuable. He has 3 games against the Brewers, that's a pretty brutal matchup. They're actually 2nd in team ERA since the All-Star break. So the Brewers are still a really good starting pitching staff and really good bullpen just all the way through. But he's in Miller Park for 3 games, so I like that. So if he can get you 1 hit, it'll probably be a 3-run homer. And then after that, he's going to go to Miami. So the 20th team ranked in team ERA, so they're pretty brutal as well. And they're letting him play every day. Jesse Winker is out for the foreseeable future. He's not even doing baseball activities. So fire him up. If he gets hot, he can hit you 5 home runs in 1 week. This is going to be the week. So that's my deep, deep boy for your week. Rounding off and reviewing again, Colton Wong, Christian Walker, and Aristides Aquino. All right, let's hop over to pitching, Mac. We're going to look at week 20. Who are the 3 pitchers you recommend to stream?
So I got a same sort of tiered look going on here. I got one that's 18%, one 39%, and one 56% rostered.
There we go.
So let's start with the 18% of this time. That is Miles Michaelis. Pitching for the St. Louis Cardinals. He gets a matchup against Pittsburgh this week, so he's projected against. And Michaelis just pitched against Pittsburgh last night. He's a serviceable vet. He's 32 years old, coming off the IL. Fresh off the IL, actually, which I usually don't start guys off the IL. He gave up 2 runs to the Pirates over 5 innings, but neither of those runs were earned. They've been stretching him out to 86. He stretched out to 86 pitches last night, so they're looking to give him potentially a full run next start. I expect him to build off that start. He's looked pretty good.
And I want to ask you, how do you feel when a pitcher goes against a team and then next time out they go against the same team? Do you think that gives the pitcher more of a advantage or the batter?
Interestingly, I did some research into this because I have a bias. I always feel like I don't want to start guys against the same team twice for whatever reason. But I think Fangraphs may have an article on it. They did research, and it basically is like no, like it's a wash. There's really the good starts and the bad starts are pretty much even. So
Mythbusters, baby. Yeah, look at that.
There's no real.
If you stuck with us to the 28th minute, you learned something. So congratulations.
Here's something else interesting is that research has begun to come out that this isn't confirmed. It's just guys doing research that potentially pitches really only tunnel from play, like pitch tunneling only works from plate appearance to plate appearance. Like guys don't remember really what pitches look like.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah.
So of course, like maybe you've seen a pitcher, maybe you're somewhat familiar with his stuff, but if he changes his game plan on you at all, then like it's not gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, good hitters will adjust, but
maybe just arm slot, that can help just to see it out of the
just seeing it out of the hand. But pitch tunneling itself doesn't like carry over, so that sort of thing. So take that for what it is. I just thought that was interesting tidbit. Mm-hmm. So ultimately, I always thought that starting guys against the same team twice in a row was bad, but I guess
Marco Gonzalez will prove you
Yeah.
Prove you're right. 3 in a row against the Rangers, who are just, it's mostly because they're terrible, but still, it's impressive nonetheless.
Yeah. So, I like Michaelis. I like him against the bad Pittsburgh team. Look to stream against Pittsburgh pretty much all the time. Orioles all the time.
Damn it, Brian Hayes.
Luis Patino gets a start against Baltimore later on this week. I don't have him on here, but like Patino's available in your league. Probably start him. Anyways, that's Miles Michaelis. So he gets Pitt. He's 18% rostered. We'll move on to Patrick Corbin, who is projected to get the New York Mets. And if you didn't watch the start last night against the Brewers, you might be thinking, what the heck? Corbin's been really bad all season. And you're right, but Corbin a couple years ago was one of the best pitchers in the major leagues. And that's a pedigree that has to be respected when he does something different. And last night, he averaged 95.7 miles per hour on his fastball, which is a big deal because that is up. Let me see if I can pull this back up. I had it up just a second ago.
Yeah, I mean, as you were just saying, Corbin has been pretty rough all season, and he's someone that I stayed away from. And then anytime that you do have that kind of veteran, and he does maybe change something, yeah, you have to start paying attention to it.
Yep. So he averaged 95.7 miles per hour on his fastball, which is a big deal because previously he was averaging 92.2. So that's up a little over two ticks. Oh, no, he maxed 95.7 on his fastball, but he maxed 95.5 on his four-seamer and 95.7 on his sinker. But his four-seamer was on average 91.9 and 92.2 on his sinker. So he was averaging 94 last night, a little over 94, which is up 2 ticks.
That's good.
Big deal. His slider was up to almost 2.5 ticks. He was throwing it on average 82.6 miles per hour.
Did he change up his pitch mix at all, or is it pretty much standard?
I'm not sure. He did throw his. I need to dive into this a little more, but he threw his sinker the most often, his slider and his fastball.
Yeah.
Basically, even he threw his slider one more time than his fastball, but his slider got a 44% CSW and had 7 whiffs, which is pretty nice. 7 whiffs on 25 pitches. It's what you like to see. And his changeup, weirdly enough, he threw. He only threw it twice, but he threw his changeup 85 miles per hour. When previously
offset the 94.
Yeah, when previously his changeup had been 80 miles per hour. So on the year,
weird.
So he threw everything harder last night.
You might have to start. You might have to test this man.
Yeah, and it worked. He went. He had 7 strikeouts, 6 1/3 innings pitched. He gave up 3 hits, one home run. But yeah, it looked good. Got the win last night against the Brewers and the quality start. And the rest of the season, if this sticks, and that's a big if, but if it sticks, he gets the Mets, the Pirates, the Rockies on the road, and the Marlins as projected teams to start against for the rest of the season.
So
his last
rest of season, just hold on to him.
Yeah,
if you're saying.
Yeah, if you pick him up and he does this again against the Mets, then I don't see why he wouldn't continue to do it.
Yeah.
So, and then finally, let's get to Eliezer Hernandez. We're going along this week. We've been talking. Eliezer Hernandez is 56% rostered. He had a tough matchup in Great American Ballpark against the Reds and gave up 2 home runs, 4 earned runs. But he gets the Washington Nationals, and I like him as a high upside play. He had a serviceable, pretty decent 31% CSW, but had a 45% CSW on his slider against the Reds. He had them swinging and missing on his slider. It's just he's a little bit of a fly ball pitcher, and Great American Ballpark isn't great for that.
It's going to hurt you, potentially.
No, and the Reds are just gonna run into home runs pretty much all the time. So not a good team to stream against. But the Nationals are very depleted, not very good, and I like Hernandez as a pretty high upside strikeout play for this next week. So that is Miles Michaelis, Patrick Corbin, and Eliezer Hernandez from
awesome.
3 pitchers.
All right, we'll see how they do for the upcoming week. And for mine, let me pull it up here. Okay, we got 3 here. Number 1 is going to be Eli Morgan, 3% rostered, Cleveland. He's going against Texas. Texas is terrible. Since the All-Star break, the Rangers are the worst hitting team in baseball with a team MOBA of 287, by far the lowest. It's like 4 points lower than everybody else. Last time out, Eli Morgan tossed 6 innings of 3-hit baseball, 0 runs. I mean, he looked great against the Twins. He looks good. He's only 3% rostered. The Rangers are brutal. It should be a solid. It's a good play, and I think he actually has 2 starts next week. I forgot who the other opponent's actually pretty good, so I'm not recommending him for both. But against Texas, fire him up. Number 2 is Ranger Suarez, 37% rostered for Philly. And he's one of those guys that was the closer, a month ago. And then now they're like, we're going to make you be a starter because we just don't have any starting pitching. And he's slowly starting to be stretched out. So, so far, he's actually been a better starting pitcher than he has a relief pitcher. I think is actually pretty cool. But, yeah, so on the year overall, he has a 1.47 ERA, a 1.02 WHIP, and over those 55 innings pitched, he has 53 Ks. So he's going against Arizona. So Arizona, as we've already talked about, not a very good hitting team, ranked 23rd in Team WOBA. Even though Suarez did struggle against Arizona before that. So we're talking again, a team playing a team just after, he just had played them. But I'm feeling a lot better about this one because before that, he went 10 straight innings without giving up 1 run. So I side more on that. And then Suarez also has a second start of the week, and he's going to be going against the Rays. So keep an eye on that's actually earlier in the week. The Arizona is a second start on Saturday, I think it is. But I don't like him against the Rays, so stay away from that matchup if you can. Obviously, if you're in a weekly league, you don't really have a choice. But if you're in a daily league, wait for the Arizona start. And number 3 is Brad Keller. So I'm pretty sure I said I'm done with Brad Keller, but I'm back. 14% rostered. Kansas City's going against he's at Seattle. So last game, was it Keller's last game out? Yeah, against the Cubs. He had 8 Ks over 6 innings. He had 15 swings and misses, and 8 of those were on his fastball. CSW of 35%. He got the win. He got to the quality start. And the Mariners have been struggling. They're actually the 4th worst hitting team since the All-Star break. So it's a really big upside play. Only 14% rostered for a reason. But he's been really good lately. He's going against a really bad Mariners team. I like the upside on that. So my 3 pitchers were Eli Morgan, Ranger Suarez, and Brad Keller. Bam. Fire them out. All right, everybody. Thanks again for listening. We're going to get going here for Week 20. Mac, remind the listeners where they can find you on Twitter.
At @JChristianMack. You can see it right here in your handy dandy banner /
handy dandy notebook.
Yep, handy dandy notebook. So Christian Mack at @JChristianMack. You can find me there tweeting about Braves and whatnot. All sorts of random baseball things. So
love it. And as always, you can find me at Marty_Tallman on Twitter, writing a triple play, doing this amazing show with Mac, which we're actually going to talk about. We don't know how many more weeks are we going. I was going to go until my season was over, which is like late
I don't know
September.
when my season's over. So
it's never over. But anyway, all right. As always, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.